Welcome back. No.
Oh, you gonna do it?
Oh my god, I could try. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Bree, and Jess and I are both here to talk about every Disney movie ever, and today we'll be talking about Frozen 2. Yay!
Frozen 2 is a 2019 theatrical release that is about Anna and Elsa embarking on another adventure to discover Elsa's magical origin. It is directed by Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, head of animation Rebecca Wilson Bresee, editing by Jeff Draheim, music by Christoph Beck and then Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, and it's written by Jennifer Lee. The film stars Idina Menzel as Elsa, Kristen Bell as Anna, Jonathan Groff as Kristoff, Josh Gad as Olaf, Sterling Brown as Matthias, Evan Rachel Wood as Iduna, and Alfred Molina as Agnar. In 2014, producer Del Vecchio said he and Chris and Jennifer worked really well together and they didn't want to rush into any kind of sequel. If a sequel felt right or they came up with an idea that felt right, they might do it, but they didn't want to just make a sequel to make a sequel. And then later, when they worked on Frozen Fever altogether, which is a short, they were like, oh, we really miss these characters, this was kind of fun, so they started talking about what a sequel would look like, and they all kind of landed on, no matter what, it would end with Anna becoming queen and Elsa getting to be free. In 2015, they did end up announcing the sequel and that it would start development. The production team ended up traveling to Finland, Norway, and Iceland, right? Yes, for research. And then they really kind of decided they wanted Elsa to be the mythic hero and Anna to be the fairy tale hero. Recording began in 2017, and announcements like Evan Rachel Wood and Sterling K. Brown weren't until 2018, so they were obviously recording over time. They started doing test screenings as late as 2019, which is kind of crazy because the movie came out in 2019. And then there was a lot of speculation, right, and still is to this day, that Elsa's a lesbian, right? And hell yeah. But, of course, the composers came out and said Elsa would not have a female love interest in this film because Elsa's main audience isn't ready for that kind of relationship. It did undergo changes after the test screenings because they found that adults really enjoyed the film, but children were getting a little lost. They weren't fully understanding, where the voice was coming from and, other things, so they added a bit more Olaf, added a bit more clarifications on the voice, and that really, helped kids enjoy it just as much as the adults were enjoying it. There were 800 people involved. 80 of them were animators in making this. So many different, programs and technologies either created or used for this. They used Quicksilver, Beast, Knock, Jotuns, a tool called Swoop. They even had vocal coaches come in and show the animators how a singer would breathe while they're singing. The film had a $150 million budget, made $1.453 billion in the box office, got a 77% Rotten Tomatoes consensus. Frozen 2 can't quite recapture the show-stopping feel of its predecessor, but it remains a dazzling adventure into the unknown. There was a documentary called Into the Unknown, The Making of Frozen 2, created during the making of. It was released in 2020. It was nominated for Best Original Song, I believe, for Into the Unknown, and Frozen 3 is set for a 2027 release, and they've also already announced a fourth one.
I have one note, and I just said everything worked well together. 10 out of
Perfect.
10. Not of the movie, but just
right.
It worked.
Yeah. I have for a sequel, they did a great job. I feel like it makes sense for a continuation. The story is all, story. The characters are effective. They did it.
Yep. Basically, most of my notes are how gorgeous everything was.
100%.
The particles with
1,000,000%.
the leaves and the cobblestones when they're all evacuating. I was like, ooh, okay, obviously the ice is gorgeous. I had a specific note. Well, just the lighting. The sky right before they go into the fog, when you see it in the back, you're like, oh my god, the sun.
Yes.
And then, I mean, they obviously, they know who they're marketing for. So obviously in both of Elsa's songs, they're like, we need to have the pizzazz. We need to have the ice showing up, and like right at the end of the Into the Unknown, I have the bridge to the final chorus with the ice sparkles, you know. She's like, are you out there? Psh, are you da-da? I was like, it feels good with everything going on. And then I wrote a little bit with the eyeball emoji of the rainbows though on the last chorus of show yourself. Had to point that out, just saying. I was like, interesting.
Yes.
Subliminal message that Disney doesn't want you to know, but we see it. But yeah.
Absolutely agree. This movie is ridiculous. Agree about, like, obviously the animation is stunning. They're at a point now. Like, I mean, we just came off of Toy Story 4, which is one of the most beautiful movies ever. Because now that they're at this place in animation, they can now start getting, like, insane with the lighting of it. Instead of just, like, a blanket lit, it's going to be a little dark here, it's going to be brightly lit here, you know. Now they get to have a lot of fun with the lighting dynamics, and the lighting in this is absolutely insane. So gorgeous. The ice, the crystals, the landscapes, all of them look great. The fire. I like that the fire from the Salamander was like pinky instead of just like, fire colored. Right. Fire colored. Blue, orange, and yellow. I don't know. I liked the pink tones to it. I just thought all of it, like, even like, I know we're not crazy about Olaf, but Olaf's permafrost, like now you can see like the snowflakes and the frost on him. I thought that was super beautiful.
Water horse.
The water horse is insane. When she turns the water horse into ice to be able to be on land, I'm like, oh, it's like a frosted glass.
The shadow when it was in the water, like when it was that whole scary sequence, I was like, ooh, like this is good.
Yes. And then I would say, like, all of Into the Unknown and Show Yourself, I agree. It's so satisfying with everything, but the whole movie is just like beautiful.
It's one of those where you don't have. I did have a slight note about, because I remember seeing people talking about this, like at the time of the mom having like the same face syndrome. Sure. I'm sure we've probably discussed this before anyways, which, you know, obviously people are like, well, they're related, and it's one of those where it was just like something I kind of noted again, like it doesn't super bother me, but it's one of those where once it's pointed out, then it's like, oh yeah, they do kind of look the same.
Yeah. It's interesting because I was actually I think the Kim Possible video, like, my phone heard me because I was starting to see a person doing a whole like dissertation breakdown about how men have all shapes and forms in animations and women have one standard form in anything animated, unless it's like an ugly fat lady or, you know, otherwise it's copy paste for the women. And I would venture to say that's the same here because Matthias and Kristoff don't look the same. Agnar and Kristoff don't look the same, but then a lot of the women have the same copy paste body and face.
Yeah, because now I'm like, even Honeymare, and I'm pretty sure she has the same facial structure. I'm like trying to think, and then I don't remember her name, the older woman of the tribe.
She's a little bit different.
Then it's like, because she's old. We're back with the na.
Yes,
hey,
of course.
I forgot from the first one, so when it started, I'm like, this song! And then I do have to give props to this song. I love that it ended up being, you know, and it could have been one of those where they song. Like, exactly. It was like, it wasn't, I don't care, really it was
great.
cool.
About Otto is
must not have, either I have no memory of that connecting to
Show Yourself.
Oh wow. Yeah. So it's when she started singing it this time watching it, because this is only the second time I've seen this movie. Sure. When she started singing it in the intro, I was like, oh my god, it's the mom's song that comes in later. I just remembered it being in Show Yourself. So I was like, we'd love to see it.
Yes, we love the full circle.
They definitely repeated it more than I remembered.
100%. Because they sing it to each other. Right. Yeah. So it's repeated a few times.
To me, I feel like the songs in this one were less story progression than the first one.
Interesting. Okay.
I feel like, you know, there was a couple, but, you know, I don't know. I feel like I may be of the unpopular opinion, but I feel like when you think of Frozen 1, you're like, okay, you know, you're setting up the whole coronation stuff for the first time in forever.
Yeah. Do you want to build a snowman?
Right.
Is obviously, you know, like, expository dialogue in a song, basically.
Exactly.
In a good way.
Yeah,
I mean that affectionately.
So I don't know. I think this one, I definitely have notes of, I think they were almost more character building than plot progression, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like it could work for sequel. Like, I wrote the note about the Some Things Never Change, that for me it was kind of a weaker opening song. I do think it was a good, like, sequel opener. Of like, it very much gave the, hey, this is the second movie, these characters are back, you know, we're with them, here's where they've been.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, for me, it kind of gave that vibe. I did write that I did enjoy it more than the first time when I saw it. I feel like, I don't know what I went into.
See, Some Things Never Change for me. I like that it's like a true ensemble song, because like even the like town gets in on it, so it feels very like welcome back to Arendelle.
Right.
And then what I love about Some Things Never Change is it's a very obvious setup that everything's about to change, because during the song she's saying Some Things Never Change, and then everything around her is like mistakes or changing or whatever. So she's like, you know, some things never change like this, and then they walk away and the thing changed or whatever.
Didn't even notice
so
that.
I like that the visual juxtaposition to what she is saying is that everything is changing, and it's like, oh, this is a giant foreshadow song that literally everything's about to change. So I like that about Some Things Will Never Change a lot. I'm like, ha, because I remember like the end of the song is, I promise you this Arendale's flag will always fly. I remember in the theater I leaned over to Eric and I went, I guess the flag's gonna stop flying. Like, I was like, we get it. Like, the flag's gonna not fly for a minute. Like, something's up in Arendelle. And then, like, obviously, not like even five minutes later, the flag gets torn away. So I love the visual juxtaposition in that song.
I feel like I might have to just go back and, like, watch that scene itself just to pick up on that, because I didn't notice.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I was not set yet for the movie. I wasn't in it yet.
Get it.
That's
100%,
good.
because, you know, when you're just listening to the song, I agree, I think it's, if not the weakest, one of the weaker songs in the movie. Right. But when you're watching, I'm like, oh, clever.
That is clever.
I'm
gonna have to withhold at least some of my, like, okay, I can appreciate that. But I think, my brain's, you know, from Some Things Never Change with For the First Time in Forever, where you're like, okay, here's Welcome to the Kingdom, and then it's like,
Well, Do You Want to Build a Snowman is before For the First Time in Forever.
You're right.
So technically,
that's right. That's true. Which obviously that gets stuck in your.
But For the First Time Forever, compared to Some Things Never Change, I would agree. Even Do You Want to Build a Snowman to Some Things Never Change, I would probably agree as well. Right. It's a very good, like, look at, we're setting up this universe. Exactly. Do You Want to Build a Snowman? And then obviously so much happens.
The story a lot.
Yes, exactly. Where Some Things Never Change, I would agree. It's not like progressing the story, but I do think it's setting up like a lot that's about to happen for sure. Cool.
But yeah, that's why I was like, you know, after it ended, because I remembered being in the theater and not enjoying it, and then I was like, you know what? All right, I enjoyed it more than the first time. So
that's great.
The piano intro of Into the Unknown, you know, it starts and it's so good, and for me, I'm like, you know, the movie is about to start because you're like, Elsa's singing now. I have to be an Elsa stan, you know,
course,
like you got both Idina
even
and
Kristen
also,
Bell. Is a huge. She's like, yeah, they gave her a powerhouse song in the first one, so LeBron James over here got 2 in the sequel, and I'm like, I love it. I love that.
It's so good, but it's so good. Into the like, I just get pumped up. It's such a good song.
100%. I mean, first of all, I think it's a great sister song to Let It Go in its sound.
Yeah, agreed.
Because like you have the piano, you have the ice, you know, like you have all this stuff inside them that like. If you're not you could confuse them. I feel like if you weren't well versed in what they are. But it's hauntingly beautiful in the beginning of that song with the voice and the piano, and then obviously the strings come in just like Let It Go. And it's so good. And I also think it's a great want song. Just like Let It Go is like a want song, obviously. But Into the Unknown is also like a now that she's free. It's a true want song, like, this is what I want, but, like, I can't want that, you know, because I don't want anything to change, because I like where I'm at right now, but also, what?
Exactly.
And I love it. I love Into the Unknown, and I think it's beautiful, as we've already discussed the animation, but the musicality of it is also stunning.
Well, I like the whole pointing out of it being a sister song, because you're so right. It's like, well, in the first movie, Elsa's not allowed to want anything.
Right.
So... You know, and Let It Go obviously is like, you are venturing into the unknown because you have to, and there was no choice. Whereas this one, there is the choice, and it's like, do I make that choice? And now she has that agency to decide. Right. Which is really cool. And then the bridge, like, it's so good. Yeah. It's the same thing as same as Let It Go. Like you said, it's one of those, it feels good.
Goosebumps. Like, I remember when it's also, I feel way earlier in the movie than Let It Go is in the first one. So I feel like there's a lot of music in the first chunk. Frozen 1, it's most of the music is in the first chunk of the movie, and then there's like an hour
then you
without
have
music.
The one where we don't like the like Fixer Upper. And
Fixer Upper is my least favorite Frozen song.
It's not great.
I was so happy that but yeah, I just think it's a great sister song. It goes from like, a necessity want to like a want, which is great for Elsa.
And also they probably were like, we need to have it earlier, so then there's a break before Show Yourself.
100%. Also
like, the audience needs to breathe.
Yes.
A little bit.
This will all make sense. I'm assuming this is your least favorite song.
What the hell is this
Olaf song?
Yeah, all I had was not the Olaf ballad with the like...
Yeah.
I just, like, I don't know. I think I'm just committed to...
Totally.
I was like, all right, I'll sit here. I can appreciate it. It's funny for the kids, but he's just like not a character I super enjoy. And
I will say I like this one better than In Summer.
I could agree with that.
I think this one like has a little bit more of like a lesson or like something that makes sense in the story for him and what he's going through. Where like In Summer, he's just like, it's his want song in the first Frozen, which is a weird thing for him to have. Right, exactly. In Summer feels very out of place, in my opinion.
Because actually, for that, I mean, you have the jokey song of the reindeers are better than people,
but it's
like that's not
seconds.
even exactly.
Right, exactly.
So it's, I think Olaf's song is the first song we have after all of, actually since
most
Let It
of
Go.
them. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's the follow-up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rough.
I love it. Like, it's just like, I don't have any like particular notes. I'm just like love with the heart. Like, I'm like,
My brother and I freaked out in the theater when that song started because we were like, not an 80s power ballad for Kristoff. We're obsessed. And then the fact that they like leaned full into it and had him like with the homage of like Queen music videos with all the reindeer behind him and like the me and my swearing. The pine cone and the tree branch and him like in a booth singing or whatever. It's ridiculous.
So
but then also the message of the song is gorgeous. Like, how beautiful. What a wonderful
This was a character song that I was like, yes, this was a character song I feel we needed and like deserved its place here.
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely, like I'm here for it. This I feel like was the character arc song for him.
Yeah, I agree, especially because, I know the composers were like, we didn't really give you a Kristoff song in the first one because he just sings reindeers are better than people. We owe him one, especially because it's Jonathan Groff. So like we definitely need to get him singing. And what a great payoff. I think it's a great song. I think it's very well placed, so you know where Kristoff is at. And it makes sense in the story that they're telling.
I was like, they really said, we will let Idina eat. And then gave her 150% of just like all the things, and she showed up. The one thing, I really didn't like this in the theater, and I continued in the first. No, actually, I think it does continue to the end. I get what they were going for with when you get to the chorus. Every time the piano music stops, and I don't know. This is just like a pet peeve of mine because it's like show yourself, and it stops, da 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 da, and. For the first chorus, I could accept it and be like, okay. But I feel like once we get into it and there's more instruments and it keeps stopping, I'm like, stop, keep going. Like, I get what they're going for.
Okay.
But I feel like for me, it's one of those things where it
I
does the opposite of scratching an itch. It like, I'm like, just
it interrupts your enjoyment of the song.
Agreed. Because I keep noticing that pop up and I'm like, oh my god.
I didn't notice. Like, I know, obviously, the first one it does. Like, it's very effective in the first chorus because it's, like, the only instrument. Mm-hmm. But in the rest, it didn't affect me at all, and that's very interesting. Oh, yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah, well, not great for you, but, like, that's a great note. I love that.
I think I wrote a note because I was like, well, maybe it was just in the first chorus and I was misremembering it. Okay, yeah. And then I was like, no. I was like, wait, no, this did piss me off in the theater the whole time.
Oh, no.
But besides that, barring that little musicality disagreement, I think I was just like emotional. Oh, no, I was. That was last week. I was like super emotional that day when I was watching it. So it was like the reunion with her mom, the final chorus, and then the dress change. I got all choked up. Like, I didn't have tears, but I was like...
I was emotional before it even started because Show Yourself is my favorite. I like it better than Into the Unknown. I love Into the Unknown. Let that stand. But Show Yourself, I'm a wreck every time. Absolutely destroys me. But like, she's on the horse and she's approaching onto Holland just before the music started. And I was like, oh no, here we go. And I was like immediately misty, and then it starts, you know, she's like, every inch of me is trembling, and I was like, I'm done. Boom, crying immediately, and then she's singing, and I'm like, she's becoming who she is. Like, I'm sobbing. Oh my god, so good. And then yes, the moment between her and her mom, she's like realizing it's her mom.
Right.
Oh, so good. And the dress change, obviously very effective.
They hit those so good. You are the one you've been waiting for. That part, you're like, oh my god.
Evan Rachel Wood ate that. She did a great job.
Also, just gotta say, show yourself.
True.
Elsa's songs continuously being about, you know, letting things go, about the norm, reaching into the unknown, coming out with who you gotta be of yourself. Just saying.
She's wearing a little bit of a rainbow on her.
There is a rainbow that does come out. I noticed it. I was like, just saying.
Just saying.
This is like, oh wait, no, you haven't watched Arcane yet. Never mind.
No, true, but that's
it's like where the animators are like, we're gonna put stuff in even if other people say not.
Great.
I feel like I wasn't super affected by it when I saw it in the theater, but this time I was like, this was really good. Like, I was in it, I was ready to engage and enjoy it, and I was like, dang. And I feel like what I enjoyed, okay. Well, it's a little bit of a writing, but it can go in music. I was like, we'll talk about this more in the writing, or I'll talk about it. I think if Elsa made more of a choice, like if she made more of a choice, like that got herself killed, like I think it would have hit harder, but I think it happened so suddenly where we're like, what the heck? Why did she just freeze? That I feel like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that point.
Interesting.
I have more notes on that later.
Okay.
But going back to Anna, I feel like, you know, it kind of reminds you that she is also a lead. Like, and she hasn't really gotten a moment to shine at all in the movie. And like me, just because whenever I watch these, I think of me and Britt, and my younger sister. And so I'm just like, oh, it's finally her moment, like, you know, little sister time, waiting for her, you know, to like step forward. And I don't know, it was just, I enjoyed it.
I think it's a really great, it hit me so hard in the theater. I think Kristen Bell's performance of the song is insane. It hit me less this time because I was ready. I was like, oh man,
here we go.
Olaf dying, like, is sad. Not maybe because of Olaf, but because it's the sign that Anna gets that Elsa has gone, because without Elsa's magic, Olaf can't exist. And so it's like her finding out that way, emotionally devastating. And so then her just like, you know, I've seen Dark before, but not like this. You're like, frickin' I did. Like, oh my gosh. I think it's a great, I do think that's a little bit of a plot song.
Oh,
because she's like, absolutely. You know, like, I gotta do the next right thing, which is taking down that Damn. So, I do think that's great. And then the visual representation with it, where she's literally climbing out of a dark hole. Get out of here. Like, that's so good. So, I think it's a very effective song, and I like it a lot. I don't think, like, it's as good as Show Yourself or Into the Unknown, but for the point in the story, it's excellent.
Agreed. Because I was like, it's not supposed to be one of those songs either.
Exactly.
It's like, it serves its purpose perfectly.
Yeah.
For what it needs to do.
100%. I'll start with simple things. Like, there are 2 parent deaths.
Oh, yeah.
Agnar's dad.
Who is Angar?
Their dad.
Okay,
Anna
thank
and
you.
Elsa's dad. Like, so their grandfather passed away, but
okay.
Agnar is, quote unquote, kind of a main character in this, I guess. And then Matthias says his dad passed away. Which, I'm like, sure, let's just count it, because there's so many freaking parent deaths everywhere all the time now.
There you go.
So there were some parent deaths. I obviously cried. I already talked about that.
Right.
As soon as Show Yourself started, I was done for. Through the end. Because then it's Do the Next Right Thing, and then it's their reunion. It's so good.
So I feel like my summary / conclusion of the writing in this is that stuff in this one seems to keep happening to them instead of the characters driving the story. And hold on, before you're like, well, hold on, the what song? We just talked about that. Wait. So I feel like everything is just happening coincidentally, and obviously there is an element to that in any story. You know, there's only 2 stories: is a stranger comes to town, or the hero leaves on an adventure, and it's, you know, a combination of these 2. But It's like, okay, so suddenly the magic wakes up, suddenly the fog is pulling them in, and these giants, and they have all these mysteries. I feel like the first one was very much self-contained, and it should have been, you know, it was the initial thing, the story was about the two sisters, and so obviously as a sequel you have to expand on that. However, I feel like they could have done a few small changes and had things work out a little more naturally, at least for me.
Okay.
Because all of a sudden this voice is starting to sing. All of a sudden Elsa is like, oh, I woke the spirit up after her song. And it's like, wait, what? How did you know that you were doing that? Like, she just makes a statement that I woke it up. And it's like, wait, we didn't know that that's what she was doing. How did she know how to wake it up? I thought she just turned ice into diamonds, and she's like, oh, fire, water, air, ice, or whatever she says.
Sure.
And she's like, oh, my bad, I woke it up. We have to go north. Remember that fairy tale that Mom and Dad said?
Sure.
And so, you know, you get to the forest, you meet all these people, and then suddenly, at one point, you know, Anna and Elsa go off, and they find their parents' ship, and all of a sudden, their parents' ship is just there, and they're like, wait, what? How's it going? How I would have structured this a little bit different is maybe something comes up regarding their parents' death and or disappearance. We know they died, but like regarding their deaths / disappearance, for them to start wondering, and maybe, you know, and you could do that really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you think about their deaths happened in the middle of a song in the first one, so it's like you could do this exposition of, you know, in the charades. Even have something like that where it, you know, they mention that, oh yeah, we've been looking for Mom and Dad or something. So then
we've been looking for their ship.
Right. And so randomly the ship being there is not like, oh my God, you conveniently found the ship, and wait, what do you mean it's here and not where it was supposed to have sailed? I feel like if there was a little bit more foreshadow of they thought something was up for them to go look, I feel like that whole aspect would have been way more satisfying for them to have been having the agency of digging into it, instead of Elsa suddenly hearing a voice, waking up the spirit, and then the fog is right there. Like, it is right next to their kingdom where they were. And I was like, how did nobody...
It feels that way, at least.
Right. But even when they went... Yeah, I guess, because Elsa went to come save it on the water horse later, and it felt like it was very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the map, when they were like, oh my God, it's all the way up here, and then Elsa's like in the North Sea, where it is so fast to ride the horse out. Yeah. So I feel like if there was a little bit more agency than just hearing a voice and Elsa doing some like random magic thing that she like confirms she did, I think it would have felt like just that little change would have felt a lot more characters being driven with the narrative, instead of the narrative just pulling them along and then reacting and having them act instead of react.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's my biggest like summary of everything. And then on that comment, because it felt more disjointed to me in this one, because there wasn't, you know, there were multiple plot lines going on, which again is good for a sequel. I loved the subplot of Kristoff trying to propose. I feel like that was a very good subplot for, like, you know, the secondary character and the whole like Kristoff and Anna's relationship as a whole. Excellent. But I feel like Elsa's whole journey, as much as I, you know, love the songs, I love the whole thing about her finding who she was meant to be. I have additional words on this in a bit. But I feel like if Anna and Elsa had made that conscious choice to be looking into this, it would have felt more pulled together when they happened to find this. And, oh, what do you mean, this treaty? It felt like we were just getting fed this information of, oh, weird that we just remembered this thing that Mom and Dad told us like 10 years ago. Yeah. And suddenly it's relevant. Like a little tweaking, I think, would have gone a long way. And then on that note of, or continuing on this note of characters just kind of doing things, the whole Elsa just freezing up, maybe I missed something. Okay. But my whole thing was she, you know, she's here to find what's going on, you know, what's happening, and she finds out that it's like, oh my God, the Arendellians are the ones that betrayed them. But she's following this information, and she jumps into this pit and then freezes like it was an accident. And like, were we ever told that? Yeah, see,
Keep
and
going.
maybe
I have a
I
response
missed something.
to that, for
yeah.
sure.
It, to me, when I was watching it, it felt like she was just like, oh man, I don't know. So she jumped down in it and has this all happening, and she's like, oh my god, I'm freezing up. And so she shoots, like, you know, that knowledge to Anna as like her kind of like dying last act. And I feel like both times in the theater, I was very confused. And like, so maybe you have more info
I
that
do.
missed something.
Well,
but I was
I
like,
have where I was not lost on it. So
okay,
keep going.
that's fair. I was just like, what happened that I was like, okay, this is like a forbidden area, I guess. But I feel like her doing that, because then I was like, she died? Like, I was like, she's frozen and now Anna's depressed. I'm like, what is happening? And then
Sure.
she unfreezes. So, yes.
No, okay, so first of all,
Yes.
great point. Like, I'm
you.
so on board with this. I totally see your argument about the narrative driving the characters instead of the characters driving the narrative. I think that's great. Never really, like, even occurred to me, like, her hearing this voice, I'm like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. She, like, embraced all of her magic. So, like, now with her using it so much, maybe, like, you know, whatever. Like, I just suspended my disbelief for that.
Right.
But then her knowing she woke some kind of spirit, I'm totally with you on that. I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know you woke some kind of northern spirit? What?
And why?
What the heck? And how? Like, you just were like, ooh,
You
magic.
sang to it?
Like, ooh, here, have a big blast of ice magic. Like, what the heck? So I'm totally with you on that. And then I remember the first time watching it being like, they conveniently happen upon their parents.
Right!
Like, I remember being like, well, okay. If there's only one path, I'm like, okay, then maybe it's a little bit more believable, but we don't know that. So then I
We
was
don't
like,
even know where they went. They
Right.
like walked off somewhere.
I'm like, okay, that's convenient. So I do remember, like, being like, the ship, that's kind of convenient, but, like, whatever, I suppose. It's a fun adventure movie, I guess. And then, yeah, how fast Elsa gets to Holland is obviously, it's, like, so far up the map that she's already there. But anyway, diving into this. So the song says, not too far, you'll be drowned. The song about the river, to Holland. Come my darling, homeward bound. Or like, not
Where
too
the north
deep,
wind-
or you'll be drowned. So the song talks about, like, if you go too deep, you'll be drowned.
In Anta Holland?
In like, yes, in Anta Holland. Because the song is about Anta Holland, the river.
Okay.
And then in the story, at some point, Anna or Elsa's like, no, you can't do this because you can't go too far. Like, if you go too far, you'll be drowned. And then, when she's going down, there's the moment she hesitates.
Right.
So she hesitates and looks down, and she looks back, and as she's doing that, the song is saying, but not too far or you'll be drowned. And then she jumps down and makes the choice.
I
So
see.
it's in the music.
I see, okay.
So
Clear.
if that's not like, I'm like, oh,
Okay.
she's gonna go, okay. The first time I saw it, I definitely was like, why is she freezing? What's going on? But this time around, like the not too far, you'll be drowned, not too far, you'll be drowned, not too far, you'll be drowned.
I see.
And then she stopped. Like, I noticed much more this time. Like, she's going down. that checks out for you, honestly.
I was like, that's okay.
That's
okay.
where that comes from. I totally
take
get how
that
that's
back.
missable.
Right, because
And I
thought it
totally
was
get
the
how that could
water.
be
Like, she almost
confusing.
drowned in the ocean on the way there. If we're saying that, I mean, I definitely just missed that aspect of it.
Yeah, totally.
But-
And I feel like, in all fairness, that's easily missable. Like, some people are so focused on what's going on screen, you're not paying attention. Because now Elsa's not really singing, right? Anymore.
Right,
She's
and
just, like, going down to
She's
find
like,
out what
I
the
gotta go, and she
freaking...
jumps down, and you're like, ooh, yeah, because I'd be like, oh, wow, a deep pit.
Yeah, and she,
scary.
like, she goes for a while, which is too deep, and too far, she'll be drowned. So that's how I knew. I was like, this is what's happening. It's like she's went too far, so she's drowning.
Makes
And
sense.
so she has to send out the little beacon with her final, it was even too cold for Elsa. I agree now about Elsa's storyline kind of being like, okay, interesting.
She's impulsive this movie.
What I
Well,
do
she's
love is I love Anna's arc in this one a lot because it makes so much sense for her to go from like the like not being able to have any time with her sister to the over like protective, over anxious to make sure she has all the time possible with her sister.
We have anxious avoidant and anxious attached.
Yes,
I wrote that down, then I was
100%.
like, ooh, they're both reacting to this
And it's,
newfound.
and it's like no fault on Elsa. I get what like she's trying to find the answers and also protect Anna from whatever's happening. Her arc, I just think like to then have the moment where she doesn't have Elsa to think about or like try and get back or protect or whatever. So now she has to go like, okay, well, what do I have to do to right this at least? And she goes and takes things into her own hands. And without realizing, inadvertently then saves Elsa again and all this kind of stuff. So like, I love her arc. I think it's really empowering for her. I think it's important for her. And I think it's like, it makes so much logical sense also from the first one. I think that was a really great arc for Anna to go on.
I agree. Both sisters are main characters in their own right, and they both have, you know, both movies, Anna is chasing after her sister, but the plot is always solved by Anna making the decision and ultimately saving the day by her making the choice. And I feel like that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. I also want to touch on Kristoff's healthy masculinity.
Yes.
In the
What do you need?
What do you need? Without even like, where did you go? Why did you leave me?
What do you need?
Just the, I'm here, what do you need? I need them to take down the dam, you got it. Like, doesn't even think twice about it. And then, of course, the iconic moment, my love is not fragile. Like,
so good.
Absolutely such a perfect
good.
representation of healthy love, healthy relationship, and also healthy masculinity. I think he's a perfect example.
Agreed. I love the marry a man you just met gag that, like, it keeps coming back every time. It's funny.
It is. It's so funny. And then she's like, and it's like, oh no. And Sven's in the background like, bro, you're fumbling the bag so bad.
I don't think Elsa's okay. When Olaf said
man.
I was like, that was a good line that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was like, that as he's melting, I was like, that was good. That was a good line.
You know, Josh Gad, kudos.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I feel like I am of two. Well, I guess it depends on how you want to read the film. And I feel like giving it a queer-coded reading lends a lot to it, but at the same time, I know Disney is not. Well, either they are or they're doing it in a negative way. But we're putting on we're taking off our heteronormative lenses, right?
Okay.
So, you know, the whole first movie was about, you know, accepting differences. This one, you know, Elsa accepted that she was different, but now suddenly they're like, actually, you need to go into the woods too. You are going to be othered. You need to go to the woods where all the magic is. And how often is magic also used as an othering or queer-coded?
Sure. Okay.
What is the word I'm looking for? Trait that a lot of media will use. You know, you can't tell people about magic. Magic is dangerous, blah, blah, blah. It's hundreds of examples, you know? So it's all about acceptance in the first film, and then suddenly it's like, actually, there's not a place for you here. You know, you're not going to do the traditional route of marrying a man that you haven't just met, but, you know, being proposed to, getting married, and ruling a kingdom because they need a king and a queen, and they'll need to have heirs that, you know, you'll want. I'm not saying Disney's necessarily going to go this route in Frozen 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of, like, child route coming with Anna and Kristoff.
Sure.
But the whole aspect of, like, you know, and obviously this is not taking away from Anna's character, because I think that's really cool of what Anna gets to do and her stepping into her own. This is, you know, just on this side of it's an interesting stance to take, and they might have thought it was cool and empowering by she's finding herself, but again, she's finding herself away from traditional society, and she's going off.
Sure.
And, you know, so is it, so I think it was interesting because, I wrote the end of the first movie, you know, she, besides Merida in Brave, Elsa is the first of her kind, she was the first queen that Disney had that wasn't with a man and wasn't in a relationship, and it was super cool at the time. You know, Merida, you know, that was a whole thing too. She didn't want to get married and stuff. The ages are
Moana also technically.
She
becomes chief without a man.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, there are other examples then, but it was just one of those where it was an interesting choice that, especially with how much talk there is in certain communities of like, hey, why don't you give Elsa a girlfriend? The one that you kind of almost set her up by, you know, she has this conversation, and this is more just, you know, Honeymaren's right there, so it's just easy to refer to her as this because it's like they have that conversation. Honeymaren is like the only other female character there that, so obviously people latched onto that. But if they're paralleling the whole, okay, Anna and Elsa's parents were the mixing of the two people, and now you had, okay, you need one in the forest and one in the kingdom. So you have one getting married, and it's like, well, do you need to keep paralleling it? I don't know. They could do that, but it's an interesting, it's a lot of interesting things when you start thinking about it, that it's like the whole thing of accepting Elsa being queen was very cool in the first one, but then it's like, well, now we're going to get rid of her and put her in the forest. And I get, on one hand, what they could be going for, and I'm not saying that it is bad, but it's...
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussions
that's
to be
a really
had,
great
so
argument. I definitely could see that. 100%. I do see that. Now that you're putting it that way.
I'm writing my dissertation on
Yes, I'm like, oh my gosh, excellent. Yeah, because I remember seeing this for the first time and being disappointed that Elsa wasn't Queen of Arendelle anymore. Because I was like, well, come on! Why can't she be Queen of both? Like, why can't they unify?
Ambassador.
And she be, like, just spending half her time both places. Like, why does it have to be she spends all her day? She's got a freaking water horse to get her from point A to point B.
She doesn't have to
go
take
back
the
and forth.
expressway.
They can all come. They can intermingle.
No traffic
it's
for
fine.
her.
I get it, but like, I remember. So at the end of the first time I ever saw this, I was like,
it felt weird.
100%. I think because when they were doing this, their whole thing, the first thing they came up with was the end, which was Anna would become queen and Elsa would get to be truly free because she was like held captive in that castle for most of her life. And so, like, yeah, she can wander the castle, wander Arendelle now, but is she truly free to do what she wants as Queen of Arendelle?
Right.
Which, like, I get the argument.
Yeah, and I can respect.
Totally. I do think, like, it's great for Anna, because then, like, what else will Anna get to do? Because she is, like...
the younger sister.
Exactly. And I do feel like she has a great leadership arc in this.
Yes.
And so, like, where, like, Elsa... she's just queen because she was the oldest sister. Right, exactly. Where I think Anna, like, has been given arcs that make her a leader, so it makes sense in that form. But I don't like that it becomes like, okay, well, Elsa's gonna be up in the forest and Anna's gonna be down here. I'm like, why?
We have to...
I get they're going... like, I think they're going for, like, a... sometimes sisters, like, go on their own way, but are still amazing sisters and still in contact and still work together. They're just not living together and attached to the hip. Which, like, sure, that's your sister's in Nashville, you're here.
Exactly.
Like, so not to put where Brit lives. It's a big city.
Go find her right now.
So I'm assuming that's what they're going for, but who knows. But I do think, like, I was disappointed when Elsa wasn't queen anymore, because I was like, come on!
Right, like, the whole movie was about the kingdom accepting her.
Yeah.
And then it's like, never mind. Not that nobody's
I don't feel like the kingdom is not accepting her.
Exactly.
The movie is framed very much like it's Elsa's choice to abdicate and give it to Anna, for sure. And, like, if it truly is Elsa's choice, I'm like, okay, fine. But also, it wasn't Elsa's choice, it was the writer's choice.
And also... if she's the fifth spirit, fifth element, whatever, it's still not her choice, because now she has to live in the forest as this spirit thing. Did she die and come back as a spirit? Was she actually? I thought about that. I was like, interesting. Probably not. It's a Disney movie, but like...
yeah, of course.
But, it's one of those where I feel like,
that's a really good argument. I'm on board. I mean, I definitely, like I said, was disappointed that she wasn't queen anymore, because I was like... But that's mostly just because I loved her as queen.
Yeah,
I want her to be the queen. It's cool. Favorite part?
Oh no! I always forget to do these. Oh man.
Toughie.
I feel like just Idina singing. Like,
Great choice.
mean, yeah. But it's hard to pick either song, because probably just watch around the final, like, reveal and refrain of Show Yourself.
Yeah.
But I do like also the bridge into the final chorus of Into the Unknown, so both those parts.
Yeah. My favorite part is Show Yourself. Every time. It gets me every time. Least favorite part?
Honestly, probably just Olaf wandering off and having his little section, and then he's like singing, and I'm like, okay,
that's fair.
I don't know if I had anything I like super disliked. I was just, you know,
my least favorite part, I went with when they discover what happened to their parents for real. For two reasons. One, because it's like super convenient that they find their ship, and that feels a little lazy. But then on the flip side, like that is devastating emotionally. Yeah. Like I couldn't imagine, and that's sad. I don't want them to have to deal with that. Would you recommend?
I would.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, I think I've said my pieces.
Perfect. I just have it's solid.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of discourse out there about whether people think this is better than the first one or not. After this watch through, I'm not sure I would say it is better than the first one.
Okay.
I do enjoy it thoroughly, though. I think it's a solid sequel.
Yeah, I agree. I retained my opinion that the first one's still better, but
I do think some of the music is stronger.
Yes.
Like just musicality-wise.
Yes, I could agree
like
with
I
that.
get the whole pushing and
No, for sure.
But I think, and there's more music in this one, so it's easier to like more of the music because there's more of it. But there's no fixer-upper in this one for me.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What would you give it?
I gave it a 7 out of 10. I was like, you know what? That's
wow.
Yeah, it's hard to.
What did you give Frozen a 10?
Probably.
So mine is a 9. And what should we do?
Oh.
Salamanders?
Salamanders? Yeah.
Look at us, same brain. Okay. 9 salamanders out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. And our cry count is. Every time. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching, follow me on all socials and check out my website, because my website's freaking cool. Okay, she's been on it.
I have.
I think you're technically on it always on the Vlogmas page, because I think...
I am?
Yeah, because on the Vlogmas page, there's...
you mean like I'm on it? I was like, yes, I visited
No.
it. I was like, yeah, I've been on it.
A picture of you. I'm pretty sure it's always on it. And then, what else? Join Patreon. Tiers starting at just $1 every video a week early. Tiers above that.
You get a postcard for the upper tier.
Upper tier,
$1.
you get a postcard every month. Name in the description of every video, etc. Do you want them to follow you on anything?
Nah, because I think
she's mine.
I was like, I back and forth making my Instagram public and not public, so like you can try. I don't know. Maybe I'll accept it.
So if it's
Depends on my mood.
Private, you won't get in, but if it's public at that time, you will.
Right.
Hey, roulette.
There you go.
Buy merch.
Merch is great. Merch
classic.
is grand. Oh, class. Oh, you had a different wording today.
No, merch is great. Merch is grand is a classic. That's really what I meant. Until next time, comment, subscribe, and run charge of real life. You are, so you and don't be. I'm gonna have to go with the king.
Arendelians, or the king.
Yeah,
yes.
that king that decided he was a punk. The joke I saw was we couldn't make her a lesbian, so we made her a horse girl. Hope that's okay.
Jess and Brie out.
Jess and Brie out.